We good, team?
They do.
There we go. All right. Good luck and have fun. Boop. Launch. Let me get rid of all these things so we don't have to see all this stuff. You know, you guys will get to see who's winning and who's doing. And even though you might miss me, I won't be gone for long. Boop. There we go. Let's get into this match. All right, remember, we get all of our information up. So looking over at Black Widow Company, I'm seeing some cool mechs. We'll definitely go over the loadouts, as was mentioned before. Love the decals for you, Testiclops. In the Cicada 3M, we got Wayons in the Fleet 20. We got the 2 Huntsmans coming in and 2 Assassins coming in. I'm thinking some SRMs. Yep. Both the Huntsman's running 2 SRM-6s. We also have some SRMs and medium pulses coming out of the Assassin. Cicada running 3 ER large lasers, nice little harasser. And lastly, Way owns in 5 medium laser because that's a Fleet 20 build. So, and they're actually making a move to Kappa. What we got over for Toddlers in the Mosh Pit?
So a very brawly build from Toddlers in the Mosh Pit here. We have 3 Crab 27Bs with medium pulse lasers and snub-nosed PVCs.
Ooh,
Brody
really?
is in her Panther 10K running the ER PVCs, and then Beer and Davo are in Javelin 11s with medium lasers.
Now we already see some shots have actually taken place. Body and Alwork actually getting either a rear shot or something happened there because they're down to 96% with their rear armor already opened up. We see a little bit of light fire coming out from excuse me, Cap over here with a flip over by Beerons as Davo tries to get a little more information what's going on. Does see that there is a lot more mechs than they want to deal with. Don't see any UAVs or anything out yet, so maybe they don't have the full info, but now they see that full info as the enemy team coming out from Black Widow Company has swarmed over Kappa, pushing out Davo. Davo is dropping down to 73%, still being harassed by the Cicada sniper, trying to get to a better position. 7 medium lasers is going to be able to provide some poke against this. And they just give up Kappa. They don't want it. They took Theta, and they are happy with Theta. Body
so
knock.
both teams doing the opposite of what I expected and deciding to actually care about Kappa.
Yeah, they are. It's really interesting play. I mean, Kappa is often the ignored cap for a lot of these fights, and because of that, sometimes you actually get a lot of value. Cicada being able to put some damage on the Crabs. The Crabs' info is known. We do see the Huntsmans and Assassins not necessarily engaging it right off the bat. They're actually still trying to, the Crabs themselves are trying to wrap around, trying to position themselves so they can actually get good shots. Hot Shot taking some nasty shots, is dropping low ground. Kind of something that these Crabs want because the Crabs do not possess the jump jet capabilities as the Assassins or the Hellspawns have. Seeing some great fire, Javelin in the back, putting some shots on the other Huntsman. A little bit of mixed fire right now. We're looking for some focus fire. Looks like Rapidago, the Crab, is one that's being focused by Black Widow Company, dropping down to 63%. Looks like we did lose a leg out of it. Only 1 leg left over. That is the mech is being focused. Will they be able to catch it in time? And there it goes. Testiclops being able to get the last kill on that one. Mini Celeste focused down the Bakey. Bakey's a little bit out of position. Does lose its leg. Does get taken out by Shadow Gamer. We do see the rest of Black Widow Company going for Mini Celeste. There goes 1 leg in their Crab. Will they be able to get the other leg before too late? Not without taking a hot shot. Oh, look at these mechs go! One by one, they are falling to the ground. We have Assassin 27 losing a leg and getting overheat. Not the moment you want to be as it gets taken out as well. And this has quickly gone to a 4v2. Way Owens actually losing the Crab. Body knocker with an excellent shot, taking out that leg shot. And with a second shot to double back on, this has become a very decisive fight for Toddlers in the Mosh Pit as only 1 mech survives with the Cicada 3M.
If you'll forgive me quoting the meme, it looked like they had them in the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Accurate meme, I would say, so to speak. Testiclops, not a stranger, or not afraid of danger, is actually going in for the Javelin, going for Devil Axe, seeing if they can get the shots on it. Devil is pretty beaten up, but using those jump jet skills is able to disengage. Looks like we have Shadow Gamer on their Crab and Beerons, and yet another Panther coming in to fight this Testiclops. Testiclops getting ripped apart. Right leg ready to go. There it goes. Left leg ready to go. Does it go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Yes, it does! And that fight is over.
So that fight started very, very well for Black Widow Company, but the longer the fight went on, the more you saw the structure and how easy it is to twist off damage in those Crabs. And so Toddlers in the Mosh Pit was able to win the extended brawl.
Absolutely, and honestly, that was a really cool positioning from both those teams. Both of them were trying to interact. I think they were a little, Black Widow Company had a little bit of a difficulty trying to decide who do you want to jump first. There was a little bit of a moment. They were sitting on the hill cover. They had the Cicada giving them effort, like support fire, but they didn't jump on until 5 seconds later. By that time, the Crabs were at least together. But, you know, in the heat of the moment, with only you get all this info, you get all these comms, it's hard to keep track of it. So let's keep most damage coming out of Toddlers in the Mosh Pit was 361 by Shadow Gamer and the Crab 27B, and then Testiclops in that Cicada 3M with the 3 yards lasers 279. Good damage by all. Starting the music, setting the records, and let's move on. Let's get it on! So what I was gonna say was that both those teams were for Kappa to a certain extent. I actually found that kind of interesting. I wonder if both those teams didn't expect each other to go for Kappa. Think they were just gonna get a free cap and move on.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I actually think you're onto something there, because I know that in our testing and our scrims and such with Toddlers and the Mosh Pit, we've always just done the ignore Kappa, push Theta, right?
Right, exactly. It just doesn't always feel that useful to go for. All right, so I'm going to go over, once again, Black Widow Company. God, this map, especially when you're at a high angle, it's just gorgeous. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. All right, so Black Widow Company, BattleMechs apparently is their full name, according to what's listed at the top left. We have 2 Chargers, 1 A1s. Ooh, I love me a good Charger. The Cicada 3M actually comes back out again, different pilot this time. And we have 2 Centurion AHs with a Hunchback 4G. Again, love seeing these different mechs. We gotta just go over the builds real quick. Cicada's running the 3 yards lasers as usual. We do see a Brawly build loadout come out from the Centurions and SRMs and Ultra AC-20. Same thing from the other one, I would imagine. Yep, SRMs and Ultra AC-20. The Chargers bring in the 3-yard large laser and medium pulse, so getting a little range. Both Chargers running the same thing. And lastly, the Hunchback. Big surprise, we have a UX-20 and 3 medium pulse. So Brawl with the ability to do some range, which we saw was pretty useful in some previous fights on this one. Please go ahead. Toddlers and a Mosh Pit.
Very, very ranged drop here from Toddlers and a Mosh Pit. We have Body Knocker in the Spider 5V, and I haven't been able to confirm, but I'm willing to bet that one's at PPCs. Birion's likewise is in a very light capper in the Locust 3M. And then Davo and Jack McCat are in Grasshopper 5Hs.
Ooh.
And rounding it out, we have Rabbit Go in the, I can't remember, BLR. I think that's not Black Knight.
No, it's a Battlemaster. Absolutely.
Battlemaster 3M with ER large lasers.
Yeah.
And rounding it out, Mini Celeste in the Stalker with $5 if you guess it before I get there. Large lasers and ER mats.
So interesting enough, not ER large lasers. They went for the 5 ER and 4 large lasers. Not a bad build. That definitely could put a big punch, and the heat is probably a lot more manageable than using ER large lasers. I guess they thought with the amount of range they have, this could be a pretty okay situation. Now, okay, real quick, we do notice that Birion's is in a pretty scary situation. We already see shots coming off and Wade Owens getting a poke. Birion's is actually biding their time to see if they can get more info as of right now. The rest of Black Widow Company is using their ER lasers coming out of their Chargers in order to put a little bit of poke back onto the enemy team. At this range, the shots are very far out. They're looking at maybe 800, or not even 800, like 900 to maybe 1200 range right now. But still, we see a little damage coming out of Rapid Go with 4 yards lasers, just a little trace damage. They're just trying to get a sense. But right now, notice, Toddlers and Mosh Pit, 2 cap lead. All they have to do, again, is maintain it. And if this is the kind of pokage they want to go for, this is actually in their favor.
And I did manage to check Body Knocker's build. Single ER large laser on that Spider. I believe that one. So that's the Spider with the cap accelerator, right?
That is absolutely correct. Love the decals on the back of that mech too. So yeah, no, the Spider 5e, interesting choice, big map, so the cap and stubborn can be really strong. Not really good for poking, but good for harassing. We do see that Toddlers and Mosh Pit, we talked about this with them last time, actually making use of their artillery strikes. Sadly, not much damage coming out of it, but enough to kind of zone out the charges just a bit more. And we see that Toddlers and Mosh Pit has set up, kind of having their own little firing line, which is good, because anytime you get poked, and if everyone can see that same mech, can all put the damage back in. They look through, they're not even like where you're. Ooh, you're right. I heard you say ooh. I was like, what's ooh? It's because Wade Owens is actually going for a Theta cap. There isn't much. Okay, they did disengage from it. It looks like they were worried about being hit too much. Wade Owens is actually smoking from, I'm assuming, their left and right arm because their armor twisted being so glorious. And that is correct. Left and right arm torso, or left and right arms are opened up. They did put shots, being able to push them back off of Theta. It looks like there is a little bit of intention going towards Theta, where a lot of the Hunchback, the Centurions, and now the Chargers are all getting into group together, maybe looking to see if they can full send into the Toddlers and Mosh Pit team.
Birion's is trying to win harder than he has to. He's going for Kappa. You've already got the 2. You don't need the 3rd one.
But going for the 3rd cap, especially if they do sense that Black Widow Company is kind of approaching or encroaching, on Theta, getting a 3rd cap now puts even more pressure on the table. And again, it's a big map. And if the info is being shared properly, the only quick mech that Black Widow Company it has is that Cicada. That's not a lot of quick moving tonnage in order to secure caps, so they're actually just putting a little more pressure. I think Birion's might have made a good call. He's got to do something at this time, you know. All right, we do see a little bit of a push coming in from Black Widow Company, so we're moving towards the Gamma Cap, seeing if they actually secure it, with two Centurions, a Hunchback, and the Cicada leading the way for the info. It's not a bad positioning, it's not a bad thought. We do see, over here, the Grasshopper, probably by Davo Hacks, does have a slight overwatch position, and if they do choose so to look at it, he might be able to put shots. They are getting poked by by Way Owens, putting a little damage on Grasshopper, so that maybe just let him know, it's like, hey, I see you, and I got that back armor. Tasty. Will they actually secure Gamma? Looks like Molokai, again, apologies for the name if I messed it up, is securing with their Hunchback 4G. And they're taking the G9 hill right now. We talked about how important this hill could be. Toddlers and Mosh kind of biding their time still, not seem to be too overly concerned. I do like Biron's has once again gotten a really good position. Notice that they're not shooting, they're not trying to fire, but I think for the position they can see, they can see a little bit into Gamma, and they can also see a little bit of the mechs up top. It does feel like that Rabbit-Go and Mini Celeste and their Battlemaster and Soccer collectively is getting a little close for their long-range brawl. They might not have the full info then that there is a brawl or like the full team is here. They are going to scout it out and they're going to know in about 5, 4. There, you know, they even beat me to the punch. They knew it right away. Now the question is, will Black Widow Company take advantage of this? The UAV did go up from, I'm assuming, is Toddlers and Mosh Pit. Nice little airstrike coming out. Does miss a little bit, but again, it puts the zoning out. And we see Black Widow Company not really wanting to challenge this right now. Another strike coming out because I guess they're worried that there's going to be a push coming in from Toddlers and the Mosh Pit. But again, Toddlers is kind of chilling. They're almost at 400 points.
I mean, Toddlers, if nothing changes, they'll win this game in just over 3 minutes.
Mini Celeste, though, is at 59%. Looks like they haven't lost anything per se, but they are taking a lot of damage. And again, against these brawly teams, this is not the position that they're probably going to want to be in for long. Looks like the Hunchback is being a little brave, putting some shots into Rapigo. Rapigo does, unfortunately, power down. Maybe we'll get some... Oh, looks like they're okay.
Davo took a nasty hit in the Grasshopper, though.
Oh, did he really? Oh, poor guy. Oh, I see that, 66%. Also notice that Hotshot, getting a very demanding position up top, is able to secure the kill on Davo. Looks like the brawl push is somewhat commencing. They're just kind of going for their brawl pushes. A little bit stuck up. Oh, rear armor exposed. Centurion is going in. Hunchback is going in. Mini's trying to put the shots to cover them, but it's... Oh, there goes the leg. Expert shooting. We do have
the Charger just beats himself.
I just saw that. Look at that Hotshot go. Getting great back shots to Mini Celeste. And there goes Mini Celeste. So again, most of the range team is now taken down. It's left to Gemma Cat and their Grasshopper, whose position is very close to the enemy's brawl team, as well as the 2 light mechs. Again, we're at almost 500 points, but with Gamma being secured, there's not much they can do to stop Theta other than put a couple shots onto them. Gemma Cat trying to spread their armor, trying to swip left and right, trying to spread it around. They know that they're core down, and that's exactly where they're going to be focused, but does want to put out the firepower, trying to hit legs if they can. That Cicada would be my pick if I could. Oh, and Gemma knows it. Gemma's trying to get Way Owens to see if they can get a nice, shot. Way Owens, here in the comms, says, look to your left! And Way Owens sure does. So now they move on to Theta. This is all up to Body and Biron to secure the rest of this game.
So... with 7 minutes left, Biron's and Body are going to have to basically pick one of the points to contest. Black Widow Company can almost literally just send a charger to each point.
Look, interesting enough, it looks like Body Knocker is going for a huge wraparound. Looks like they're actually going to try to go back to Gamma. We do see that Biron's is trying to get a little bit closer. I'm assuming that they did notice that Biron's mech was going that way. And we do see some mechs maybe thinking about going towards the Kappa flag, but we do see it get secured by Testaclops. Testaclops, knowing where those light mechs went off to, seems to be just wanting to hold the Overwatch, actually getting shots onto what I'm assuming is Biron's right here in the Locust. With that camouflage, that's a difficult mech. So it's like they took a page.
Biron's getting shot.
I think Biron's may have stole your color scheme for this map, Zane.
How dare you?
How rude. All right, we do see a Kappa focus going on from Way Owens. Again, taking out this mech would have been probably the most advantageous for the Toddlers and Mosh, but it is right leg cord, and Biron's is running a small pulse laser build against a 3R large laser build. This is a fight that Biron's could effectively win.
Biron's can absolutely win this fight, but the thing is, I don't know that he can win it quickly enough before Black Widow Company's backup gets here, because both the Chargers and the Hunchback are heading right over to Kappa.
But you said it right now, like, Biron's just has to kind of win this fight, is going for leg fire. I do see. Oh, I see those BattleMechs on the way. Way Owens, knowing the situation, is just trying to buy time for his teammates to actually arrive and help him out. Bironzo needs to get this kill quickly if they can. Ooh, nice little stutter step by Biron's, actually throwing off some of Way Owens' firepower. Way Owens still staying alive. That left leg, it's got to be close. Both legs cored out, but this is the moment. The Brawl team is here. This is the time for Biron's to engage. I don't know if he's aware. Shots do come out. Still not doing anything about it. Now is fully aware. Looks like they're trying to disengage, but running into a charger as well is not ideal. How close are those legs on you, Birons? Birons, are you quick? Are you quick enough for me not to click?
Meanwhile, up at Gamma, Testiclops has successfully chased off Body Knocker from the Gamma point, and it looks like over at Theta, Slane is just hanging out.
I was gonna say, I gotta say though, Birons actually is not cored out at all. As far as like their legs and stuff like that, they're red. Don't get me wrong. Looks like they are going to try to see if
his back has been opened.
His back has been opened, absolutely. Putting shots on Kane, wanting to let them know they're not afraid. Covering to 78%. Can they flip the cap? Probably not. Ooh, a little skirt action. They do miss the shot, so Biron's not being afraid. Is still trying to challenge the Centurion. Get some shots. Oh, but I was going to say Slane, great maneuvering. Actually pulled back to the building to kind of secure themselves. It is now up to Body, which again, Body's right leg is ready to pop. Oh, wait. Body doesn't have a right leg. God, spiders are fast. Unless that's a wrong paper doll. It shows no leg on there.
So it shows no leg on the paper doll, and looking at the mech, the leg does appear to be blown up, and it's doing its limp walk cycle. Body may have taken there's a handful of nodes you can take in the maneuver tree that increase your legged movement speed.
I must say, and honestly, not a bad call. Oh, but there goes. Wait, no, I think it was just an error on our page because now Body's moving incredibly slower for now.
Yeah.
Oh, what a close game to see. I know Toddlers and Mosh had a great idea at first, but they got a little too close to the Brawlies, and the Brawlies were excited about it. And there goes Body Knockers. But there we go. Good game. I gotta say, it was still a solid match.
I think the pivot point for me was in taking the Kappa point, that told Black Widow Company that they were safe to make the rotation to Gamma.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah. I think it's better to keep the Locust as this sort of phantom threat. I mean, because you were already winning 2 points to 0.
I still respect the play because it did force Black Widow Company to do something. I just think that maybe they had a good position with the range. Yeah, they weren't doing so great in the range trade. Spending 2 80-ton chargers against a Grasshopper, that's a lot of damage, a lot of tonnage being put, or firepower being put out. I do think that they maybe just got a little too close. I think it might have been a little bit better if they stayed full back. And credit to Black Widow Company because in the beginning of the game, yeah, they had the points. They were getting a little bit of even trades as far as like their mechs go. But they ultimately made the decisions like, okay, we got to do something. That 3 cap did kind of force them into action, and to their benefit. Apparently, when they have the momentum going, they're hard to stop.
So I was going to comment that we should remind Black Widow that once they've wiped the enemy team, you can take the other 2 points.
Oh, they're on it. They already knew.
I only realized that it, in fact, took them that long to walk there.
Yep, welcome to Polar Islands. It takes 2 weeks to get anywhere. All right, I'm saving the other match ID. We're going to see who did some good work for their team. I'm sure they all did. So coming out of Black Widow Company, we see a casual 542 drum, followed up by a lot of 500 damage. Coming out of Hotshot 29, the Charger 1A1. And then coming out of Toddlers and Mosh Pit, we do see 254 damage coming out of that Stalker. That was with the moment where the Stalker was at its best range, is when they actually did do the Brawl Bush. So that links up a little bit. All right, let's move on to the next match. All right, goodbye. Well, at least me for now. Boop. And let's get this out of the way as well. Boop. And now let's get into the action. Even these teams have been on top of it too. We haven't had a chance to put on little intermission music. They're just ready to go. Oh, I love this.
I have a whole lobby song prepared, and I just haven't gotten an opportunity to sing it.
All right, we're gonna have to get you in. Maybe it'll be like the closing moment. All right, I'm gonna swap to the other side so you can stay where you are, assuming you do spawn in the same spot. And let's see what this beautiful landscape turns into a battlefield. I love seeing these dropships just like hover in the air and go. Pew! All right, so now looking at Toddlers in the Mosh Pit, we are seeing the Grasshopper come back out with Dapo Hacks. General Sapphire bringing the Battle Master. We see Body Knocker in the Spider 5e. Rhea bringing the Warhammer 6R, Biron's in the Locust 3M, and another Battlemaster. So that's all the Battlemasters now being used coming out from Toddlers and Mosh Pit. I'm assuming some of the similar builds. We do see ER's lasers coming out from these. 2 ER PPC, 2 Light Gauss coming from the Warhammer, a 6 Medium Pulse, and 2 SRM 6 coming out one of the Battlemasters, so a little brawly boy. We got 5 ER large lasers coming out the Grasshopper, and I feel like I'm missing one. Oh yeah, the Spider, which I'm assuming is just going to be the ER large laser again. There we go, and it sure is. All right, what do you got from Black Widow Company?
So we're seeing a very sort of similarly mixed drop. We're seeing, so they've got a pair of Vulcan 5Ts, their last 2 with medium pulses. This third and final Cicada 3M for Wayo and Z with the ER larges, and then a Black Knight with lasers.
Slane, I don't know if you're listening or watching, but thank you. I appreciate you. I wanted to see it.
The Charger also running mix of lasers with mediums and larges.
Ooh,
and then a Grasshopper.
Right, I saw that too. Go ahead.
2 heavy PPCs and 6 small pulse.
Ooh, I honestly, I kind of like that. I'm kind of curious. All right, real quick though, we do see a little action already unfolding. Body Knocker trying to get that early quick gap off of Gamma, but does get pushed off. Even with that Kappa 7, if you're getting shot, that Kappa 7 is not going to help you. Is having to disengage. Those Vulcans though know that they can catch that Spider Mech. They're in a good spot, but Body Knockers, quicker than the wind, is already out of there. The Vulcans have to take back, but hey, a cap is a cap. And speaking of caps, is a cap. Oh, go ahead. You're going to say something about Biron's, I'm assuming?
No, it's just looking like the Cicada is going to take up his Sentinel point on the hill here at Gamma.
Oh, absolutely. And Biron, so just to kind of give credit to Toddlers and Mosh Pit, is taking the other cap. They were going for the 2 cap and maybe holding Theta, but they decided just to go for 1. Now, it looks like there is a little movement going towards Theta. I do agree. Black Widow Company is making great use of this position. Just the amount of information you get by having a little mech right here, being able to put pot shots from time to time on maybe mechs that can't really do anything about it. It's just good value. Body Knocker is going for the Theta cap.
He gets the sneak.
Resource point Theta is ours.
Now, there is a little trading going back. It looks like most of the Black Widow Company is centered around the Gamma cap with a couple of their mechs. Their Vulcan 5Ts trying to get a little early info. The Vulcan 5T, not afraid to put out a little shots no matter how far that range is actually just got their left arm, somehow their left torso being hurt as well. Vulcans are just kind of biding their time. Love the color scheme, the camo scheme come out of Malachi. Beautiful mech. Person. And we're
kind of amazed though at how quickly that Spider can cap.
Oh, it's fascinating. And now with the Locust, the new Locust that came, or the new Quirked Locust that came out with the Kappa Siren, there's a lot of mechs that actually can kind of do it now. Interesting enough, we do see something of a repeat. Except for that Black Widow Company actually has the Gamma hold and is making use of that range cover that we actually see coming out. Oh, the Black Knight is not running the 6 PPCs. All right, well, Slane, you tried. You know, I'll give you some credit.
You got large lasers and medium lasers. What do you want?
I'm just needy, okay? I want to see everything. Where's my Skolamash Zeus that brings like 120 MRMs and mask them to the enemy? You know? Come on. Don't people know that's good? It's not good, chat. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good.
I must have missed the patch notes. Which Locust picked up the cap accelerant?
I can't remember which one it is exactly. I want to say it's also the 5e. Ooh, this little airstrike coming out. Does get a little damage, I think, on Davo at this point. Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to play the range game. General Sapphire, I actually appreciate General Sapphire's Battlemaster right now, because ultimately what it does, General Sapphire just gets to chill. She gets just to hang out, let everyone take all the damage, and then basically if they get pushed, now they have a response to it. Now they have something that can easily be a good buffer for the rest of the team.
Mm-hmm. But once again, though, we've got Toddlers in the Mosh Pit with these 2 cap points able to sort of set the tempo for the rest of the match.
I mean, they're definitely having a little bit of trouble with the range. If you notice off to the side, we do see a few of their mechs, only 2 though, to be fair, down in the 80%, 3 of their mechs down in the 80% range, while we're looking at Black Widow Company. Actually, you know, I take it all back. We're actually seeing about 80% as well. The lowest mech between the both teams is going to be Davo Hacks at 81%, while we have from Black Widow Company, not far behind, 82% was Slain. And I think it's going to cough it up to the Black Knight. Its low peaking advantage makes it really tough. By the time it's fully peaked in order to get all of its weapons out, its potential already been shot by some of these more higher mounted weapons.
Mm-hmm. It does not have the best peak profile.
It doesn't, and that's the only thing that makes it tough. That's why I was excited to see. Now, Davelhack's finally hitting 70% gang. 70% gang, let's go! It's down to 76 altogether. 5 yards lasers, nothing cored out yet, but taking nasty shots. And as I say it, I'm so sorry for jinxing you, Davo. Actually, it has its left torso opened up, but Davo's not afraid. Still looking for that peak, still looking for that hit. The thing is, with the Grasshopper probably running the heavy PPCs on it, that's a lot of power to be throwing at somebody. And I'm assuming jump jets. There we go. The jump jets pop tarting. Oh! And getting the shot dropping down to 71%. Gotta respect a good pop tart.
PPCs on that Grasshopper.
Now, I'm actually curious. That heavy PPCs can't be at a huge range profile, like optimal range at all. But
no, they'll be just outside optimal range. Heavy PPCs, I believe, match conventional PPCs, so they're ideally at that sort of 600 to 800 meter.
Real quick, we do got to notice. It seems like Black Widow Company is getting tired once again of waiting a little too, waiting for the ending to involve. They're actually trying to get the info, move up with their Vulcans and Cicada. The Cicada providing Overwatch, the Grasshopper providing Overwatch, Hotshot and Slain also trying to provide Overwatch as they get a little closer. Now, here's the moment. The moment we've all been waiting for. Sapphire. Will they be able to get into some good hits? The thing is that they probably now realize as General Sapphire is taking shots, that this is not a great positioning for it because they still have great Overwatch and XL check as it comes in. I'm not sure Bakey is the one that took it in that Vulcan 5T, actually getting that torso and being an XL mech dies instantly. Rapigo is now getting focus fire a little bit. Looks like they're still alive. They're trying to spread their armor a little bit. It is now enveloped, though, as these teams collide against each other like a wave upon a wave. We have Davelhacks going down in their Grasshopper 5HE, taking a lot of early game damage and probably running XL as well. Does lose that torso. That Battlemaster's being focused right now. Biron's in the back of it, trying to put shots on Bakey, the Vulcan 5T, while the Vulcan 5T is going for the Spider, or actually re-engaging on Rapigo, the Battlemaster. Rapigo being focused from not only the front, but looks like in just a moment, maybe even the side profile. Oh, actually, Malachi Wade Owens going for the body knocker, knowing that having such a strong range mech is going to be detrimental to their team, especially in this cap race. Body knocker, having the intel and having the information of knowing where all the enemy team is indeed going for the gamma flag, and knowing that they can flip it early might matter enough. But Wade Owens, not to be disappointed, is going to go for Theta as well, so they actually can flip the cap back and forth. Rapigo taking back shots. Rapigo knowing they're taking back shots, but just trying to keep their mech alive. Biron's coming in to assist once again with Bakey. We still have all those ERH lasers. That left leg is ready to go. They are focusing left leg as much as they can. The Testaclops with those two heavy PPCs does engage as well. Rapigo is probably not known for this world. Oh, a nasty shot coming into Biron's. Biron's probably being told to disengage before it's too late, as they were a headshot. Whoa, in that moment. Rapigo, do your best, my friend. Put out all of your hurts before you go kaboom. It survived that match longer than I expected just because of how many mechs were surrounding it. We do see Rhea trying to get in. Rhea also bringing a light engine to the field, so able to still keep firing. Slain going for it, but Slain with all that laser vomit in that close range is a little bit in a better position. We do see Wade Owens also chasing down Biron's. Biron's is trying to escape, see if they can take the high ground, the low ground, all the ground, flip, dip, run away before Wade Owens is able to catch him. They do know that with them being headshot, all it takes is a curious glance in order to take him out. Biron's is just, I think, at this time trying to buy time. I guess speed-wise, they're probably very similar, but Wade Owens, what they have is the range. So as long as they keep somewhat a beat on them, they're able to do something about it. Notice that Body Knocker... Oh, go ahead.
I actually think Beer is a lot more healthy than you'd expect, because the head hitbox on a Locust is tiny. And yes, he is one stray laser shot away, but you only typically run like 3 head armor on a Locust anyway. You're always one stray, laser shot, AC-20, PPC ball.
Oh, absolutely.
If he manages to get on the head, and he has basically full armor everywhere else on that mech.
We do see Wade Owens going to see the secure Gamma. Body Knockers maybe anticipating this a little bit. Maybe even giving the comms to Biron's is both going to see if they can stop it. Biron's is sighted by the Black Knight, I believe. Oh, no, excuse me, the Charger. Charger does put shots on it, so it is going to be aware that they're being focused down. Now, the thing is that Body Knocker does have a range build. We have to see if they're able to do enough. Both the legs are cored out on Wade Owens. If they're able to get this before Black Widow Company is able to get close enough, this might be okay turning point. We're getting a little bit of deja vu, but the only difference here is that Body Knocker is here. Let's see if they have enough. Damage coming out, Body Knocker being traded into a little bit. Biron's just trying to stay alive right now. We're trying to put a little bit of their hurt onto that. Ooh, the Cicada's leg. His right leg is ready to go. They are securing the cap. I think they... very close. I think they still technically could win off of this, but with all this tonnage coming over to fight them, You got to notice, you got to give it to Black Widow Company. They're actually keeping mechs at the back, knowing these light mechs are not going to be able to be in a stand-up fight against a Charger and a Cicada. We'll have to disengage. And as if anticipating, they're already shifting to their left-hand side, see if they can catch them as they make a run through the gaps. Kappa will be taken, but maybe these two mechs, maybe if they could get to the other side quick enough, might be able to take Gamma back, and be able to secure that. Ooh, excellent use of the cover of these low hills, able to disengage almost entirely without too much damage. Left a little escape plan. 40% for Barons, man.
That's part of the secret of playing a light mech, is you always need to know what your exit to any given fight is.
I mean, especially with maps like this, it's going to be so crucial. Now, Barons, I think in this situation, Barons cannot lead the charge. Has to be Body Knocker.
He can't. He's open torso as well as his right leg.
Ooh, I like the UAV coming out of Malachi and sensing that they know what's going to be happening. Probably great comms coming out. We do have a Vulcan 5T by Bakey coming in as well. This is not a great way to be sandwiched between two Vulcan 5Ts. These mechs are meant to be light mech killers. Ooh, and Malachi waits for his prey. And boop, boop, boop. Body Knockers, though, doing a good anticipation, maybe because he saw the UAV, know there was somebody else here. Does indeed, oh, there goes the leg. Does indeed actually try to jump jet or try to throw off the shot. Beyond's still staying alive. Good torso twisting. Does get the leg before it actually gets taken down themselves. Body Knocker trying to put some assistance, though, but does get shot, so they're not able to secure the cap. Body Knockers will either have to disengage or hope they can get some clean shots in the enemy team. Body Knocker is opened up almost everywhere. We do see a Capote get blown off by Body Knocker, just shooting at every little thing that's coming away, using great use of those jump jets to kind of throw off their enemy team's firepower. Oh, and I love looking over to the Black Widow Company and seeing all their mechs alive, but 59%, 47%, 47%, 65%. No mech is in their 80%, gang. Gang.
But what that tells me is that Black Widow Company is very, very good at sharing armor.
Absolutely.
And knowing when to send what mech in, how to wait, and time their pushes such that they're not going in piecemeal.
So well played by Body Knocker, taking out two of their quicker mechs with the legs, is able to actually be able to fully disengage. Now the thing is, Body Knocker is opened nearly every single part of her mech, down to 28%, with other mechs definitely coming in for the fight. It's still a close game by points, but I think they will.
She's lost an arm.
Lost an arm, but I don't. She needs a cap. Like, the points are already going towards Black Widow Company.
Maybe loop around and try to contest Theta.
I mean,
the thing is, if you look at how Black Widow Company has set up their line of skirmish here, there's not a ton of exits that don't either put Body Knocker way out into Siberia.
Testaclops again! Two heavy PPCs. Testaclops has the range of Artemis from Greek mythology, because those two heavy PPCs consistently headshotted the Barons, was able to put great shots into Davo, and was able to take out Body Knockers from afar. Hats off to you, friend. That was amazing. All right, so real quick, we're going to get the publisher Mech ID. We'll have to swap people out in a second, but of course, we got to throw a little love, a little shout out to both the teams for the top damage. So coming out of Black Widow Company, we see 512 coming out of Bakey, and the Vulcan 5T was expecting Testaclops, and not to be disappointed, 490 damage is pretty good, but not as good as the Vulcan 5T when it's got its meat in front of it. Now, we do see a fair amount of damage coming out of Rapid Go, coming to 421, and that was in the Bladder Master that was running the range drop, so impressive, good damage. Let's move on to the next match. Now, we get to move on to Mining Collective.
Yeah, so as we head over to MWB, or the Mining Collective map here, what you can do, if you're feeling especially bold, and I'll use the stalker for it, you can walk a assault mech from Charlie Lance just up the hill on either side of the map. And if you're running, this map is small enough that if you're running ER large lasers or Gauss rifles or any of those sort of classical sniper weapons, you have beautiful sight lines over the rest of the map here.
Oh, absolutely. We've seen a lot of teams do it in quick play. We've seen a lot of people even try to do it a little bit in competitive or at least in scrims. They're really good positions. The only thing that I guess is against them is that they are on that wall. So if a team is aware of them and they have a similar range drop, maybe they can put some solid shots, because there's no cover. There's nothing to hide your mech other than, hey, I'm in a good spot. I'm going to see you before you see me. So hopefully I get some more damage on you before you can put damage on me. And that's what you're kind of hoping for with this kind of positioning, is a power position.
It's very much you're assuming that even if the other team is able to poke and get better cover, you have so much more firepower that you're going to win the trade regardless.
I mean, the other place, like, we know Brawl, it's a small mech, or a small map, excuse me, just like Canyon Network. So you can absolutely go for the Brawl and have a great time with it. We've seen a lot of positions just pushing up the D line, pushing up the Echo line, usually on a little bit focus on the side caps, or either Sigma or Gamma. We also see people fight over Theta entirely, but we also see a lot of range drops. Like, I've seen Lerm drops on this map. The range drops... Oh, go ahead.
Like, Mining Collective is a small map, and it does lend itself to a brawl, but the areas highlighted in yellow here around that sort of Delta 4, Delta 3, Echo 3, Delta 4, Echo 4, and then the 5-6 squares, those are huge no man's lands. And if you're able to get the cap advantage and force the enemy team to push across that area to you, you have some gorgeous sight lines from the side castle that you've highlighted there in Delta 6. Alternatively, there's also these... the top of the buildings around Echo 3, Echo 4 for Team 1. And it is reliant on being able to get Theta Cap to ensure that you have that momentum or tempo in the game. But if you can do it, you can still very much play that ER large laser drop.
And I do want to kind of point out, because we've seen a couple teams utilize it, and I love that they do it. This C5, C6 that I kind of highlighted with the circles, you can get on those silos. You can get on those little walkway bridges to each other, and it's not a bad sideline. Like, it sees a little bit into Theta. It has clear line of sight the entire way over to the side. Like, you can see all the way down these angles with it. And that's an interesting spot. And then, again, and that's why I point that out is because this spot right here, as for, like, holding position, I'm going to highlight it in orange because we want to use all the colors. That's not quite what I thought that was. My bad. There we go. All right, we use pink anyways. The D4 side castle, it's not a great one. It's very easy to kind of get pushed into it if you want. But the side castle over here in Echo 4, on the other hand, is a little bit better. You can only get up there using jump jets. Yes, you can be seen, and maybe you can't put your entire team up there, but you can still put up a fair amount of your team, and that position alone can be pretty strong.
The one trap that I've seen is, I've stuck a little arrow on it, but there's a silo, like the silo back in Charlie 6, in Delta 5. But it's a single silo, and a lot of people seem to really love trying to put a sniper up there.
I mean,
if you're going to go there, just go to the building to your left in Delta 5, or go up the side capsule in Delta 4. The silo, you're not gaining any real benefits for the amount of exposure it's putting you in.
Unless your game plan is to maybe like, yo, look at me, don't look at anybody else, but look at me, maybe, because it does afford you decent sightlines, absolutely. But yeah, we've seen a lot of people do it. I would be curious to see if that gets something we see continuously in other divisions, or if it's just like, because you gotta remember, this is the first week for a lot of us. We're all just trying to get into the rhythm of doing this all over again. We're all like, either while we're casting or playing the matches themselves, we're all kind of excited, but also kind of nervous, and we all have we have a lot of feelings and emotions. Big shock, human beings being weird. So there's a lot of things that we might want to test out, a lot of things we want to try. There's been an insane amount of quirk passes that have come through. I mean, Polar Highlands is completely different than it was during last ISC. So there's a lot of different gambles, a lot of different things that people want to try and experiment on, and that's actually what I'm really excited about it. For a game that is, kind of been up and down as far as like what things have been new, what things have been fresh, this is probably one of the best times to do comp, and this is one of the best times to actually join and play with the teams, because you get to see quite a bit out of it. You get to experience quite a bit out of it. So I don't know. I'm really excited to see what kind of happens, and I think Mining Collective is going to be a great match. Oh,
absolutely. I want to see Toddlers of the Mosh Pit do the small pulse laser drop here. If you're going to commit to the brawl, I've been looking at some of the buffs and just watching some of the other teams do it. I think small pulse lasers might be not completely dethroning, but very much starting to edge out the medium pulse laser as the S tier weapon system. Because like last ISC, you were running medium pulse lasers.
True. Yeah, a lot of people were.
But now with some of the changes that came in from the Cauldron or the Gulag or whatever we're supposed to call them now, and some of the other quirk passes that have happened, there's a wider net of weapon systems that are, I think, in that sort of A tier.
No, I think you're right, and honestly, I think it's a very astute assessment. And small pulse lasers, in my opinion, have never been bad or anything like that. I think what they affordably is like medium pulses. They just give you a little bit of range, but in a lot of these fights, especially with them being so close quarters, small pulses are just they're the best. They're great. If you're gonna be that close to an enemy, having that quick cooldown, having that quick DPS, and very easy heat brawl management. They're very easy weapon systems to actually put onto your mech to get a lot of satisfactory, or a lot of good feels out of it, especially if you're doing brawl push. Now, if you're Not comfortable with small pulse lasers. I think a medium pulse is an acceptable weapon system. I myself, typically on my lower tonnage mechs like my Locust or my Firestarter, I run a weird build where I'm running small ER lasers and a medium pulse. Or small lasers and a medium pulse. Just because I want a little bit of that range, but I still want the quick heat or the low heat and quick firepower. A lot of different ways you can kind of play them. I do think small pulses, though, there's a reason why they're great. And I absolutely think that this map's going to see some of those. I would like to see the range game again. Looks like both teams are locked, so let's go and get this started. Boop.
I think the medium pulse, like the small pulse laser, especially if we look at something like quick play, it might be overcommitting to a particular strategy.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're not using it well. Like, kind of like that instance, I mean, let me clarify that real quick. Just to use the example, body knocker with the ER's laser versus the medium pulses coming out of the Vulcan 5T. The medium pulses coming out of the Vulcan 5T, they do a little bit of damage, like at range, but not a lot of damage. And so a lot of those exchanges, it did go towards body, where body was able to get the legs because of that, where they were able to just outdistance, outdamage. But again, Vulcan 5T, it's the best 40-ton mech out there. Fight me, at me. All right.
No, but similarly, like there's fights that you could win with medium pulse that you wouldn't be able to win with small pulse, and vice versa.
Oh, and I think that's fair. Like a small pulse, medium pulse, brawler versus brawler, I'd probably start the small pulse easily, unless the medium pulse was really good at range. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna talk about Todd's Mosh Pit, or in this case, Ladies Bulge. We have Mini Celeste, Body Knocker, Have to Go, Gemma Cat, Rhea, and General Sapphire. We have a King Crab coming out here, a Panther, a 5K, or Panther 10K, Cicada 3M, Annihilator 1X, Warma 6R, and a Black Knight. We do have the Mini Celeste, King Crab is running AC 20s and Snub-Nosed PPC, looking for a brawl. We have 4 LB10s and 7 small lasers. Oh, what a nasty Annihilator right there. We do see 80 medium pulses coming out of the Black Knight. Warma 6R is actually bringing the range of Warma 6R to ERPC 2 like Gauss. With Rabigo, we do have the Cicada. It's going to be very quick. It's probably running some kind of medium pulses, maybe doing a range game. Actually, UAC 5 and 3 like PPCs, I like it. I like it a lot. And lastly, the last Panther for Toddlers in the Mosh Pit coming out of 2 ER PPCs. Quickly, what does Black Widow Company have?
They have a pair of Stalkers that are running ER large lasers and 4 ER large lasers, 2 large lasers, an Annihilator running a similar bevy of 6 Ultra AC2s, a Flea 20 with medium laser, I assume the prerequisite stealth system. The Centurion is back with the SRMs and Ultra 20, and then finally their third and final Grasshopper with a similar bevy of lasers.
Notice that a lot of these pilots, they're the same.
Sorry, apologies. It's the small pulse and heavy PPC.
I was going to say, one thing I want to point out is that we notice that these pilots are not stuck to the same mech. Testaclops was running that Grasshopper in the previous match. Now Bakey is running that same Grasshopper. So it's less of a cover pick. They actually really love that 2 heavy PPC and small pulse laser build, which I kind of respect. We do see that Black Widow Company did indeed get Theta and Sigma, and they are securing their side castle over on this line. Starting to see they can actually put a little bit of their range game, which they are definitely bringing to a certain extent, with a few mechs like the Centurion being a buffer, and a little bit of range mechs to provide info as well. Panther getting some early game shots as well. The Igniter 1X is trying to get a little closer. That's what they're trying to do, is that right now Toddlers Mosh Pit knows where the enemy team is, and now they have to make the scary decision. Do they push over top Theta, or do they go around? Now they're 2A, getting into engage with it, trying to put shots on Rapigo. Rapigo in their Cicada dropping it down to 89%. Little toasty on the damage. Doesn't look like they're smoking or anything like yet. Looks like it's just a right arm that got cored out. Strikes going in Theta. Looks like they're trying to make sure Black Widow Company is trying to make sure that they secure it without too much recovering fire. Body Knocker against that Annihilator does have a better trade, but when you're also trading to 3 other mechs, it's going to make it a little tough.
I actually have to assume with the Grasshopper that the twin heavy PPCs and then with the 5 small pulse, it actually is a concession to the fact that in ISC and in small maps like this, you will do some amount of brawling no matter how good your gun line is.
Man, I think both these teams kind of took a lesson of that. It looks like Black Widow Company went for a little more range, while Toddlers and Mosh Pit went for a little more brawl. But both teams did bring a little bit of range to help each other out. Wayne Owens getting a little bit closer now, trying to see if they can get some good info or maybe good hits on the Cicada. Cicada is still alive, but almost all of it is yellow with its rear armor completely opened. They're securing the Theta cap, trying to make sure that no one takes it from them.
And Hotshot has just been a suppression machine with the Ultra 2s on that Annihilator.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just dying a little bit from this excitement. All right. Energized. Took my cold shot, everybody. So we have a lot of damage coming out. Testicops with the Stalker, and as well as Slain with the Stalker. Trying to do some good work on these mechs. We do see a strike come out. Probably missing its mark a little bit. It doesn't seem to be a great spot, but notice that Rhea in the Warhammer is, again, another cockpit shot. Actually opening up their cockpit, but the rest of the mech is still okay for wear. We do see the Brawl Push coming out as Mini Celeste is going for the Annihilator 2A. The Annihilator 2A being the focus. The Fleet 20 trying to open up. They are ripping away that leg. Interesting shot enough. That right leg almost going as well. Now this Brawl Push is going to keep going. Looks like the King Crab has moved off to the right. Sapphire leading the charge is opening court out, but is putting out a great amount of shots. That Annihilator 2A going down to 25%, and boom goes the Dynamite as Minnie's able to get it with their sneaky crab going off to the side. Good old Rapigo is trying to get some good shots into the Baku with the Grasshopper. A lot of shots still coming from Body Knock where those PPCs. Again, the King Crab putting some excellent shots on Testiclops with their Stalker. Testiclops is having to, like, actually disengage from the fight entirely. Now, the Brawl Push has been stopped. The only mech that is somewhat open is the Annihilator 1X. Maybe the comms are for the Annihilator 1X to push up, or maybe they're just trying to save it. Save it as long as they can, trying to get as much value, but they are able to secure Theta back. We do see Wayo's able to snipe off Rapigo. Rapigo had taken a lot of early game damage, so that's, again, it was worse for wear. We do see Mini Celeste trying to see if they get in better position, knowing that against some of these shots, they can put a lot of good fire. Ooh, but shots out to Testiclops, actually getting a really good position with their Stalker, able to provide a little bit of buffer, a little bit of range finding so that the enemy team doesn't actually fully push into Black Widow Company. Oh, but Slain taking a nasty shot as well. Still open, not open at all, except for the left arm. Both these teams are trading a little bit right now. Latest boat, Charles and Mosh is a little lower, a little worse for wear when it comes to these fire shots.
I don't know so much the push is paused as it's achieved its objective. They've taken Theta, and they're able to then sort of start to flip that tempo.
Absolutely. The only thing I always get concerned about was with these kind of pushes is the momentum. If your momentum gets lost and your enemy team has a chance to realize what is going on, it might work a little worse for Bear, but it still could go back for Slain. Going for that kill on Rhea, was able to get it, but takes a nice, huge amount of fights and self-destructs for it, losing one of their mechs. Mini Slice, however, does go down as well. He owns his day, but the Gemmacat and that LB-10 does take out Bakey. That Grasshopper is pushing Testiclops, knowing that this mech does win the brawl fight. Just needs a full send into it. Testiclops losing its torso. General Sapphire willing to go in. Does go down, but not before Body Knocker is able to get the kill on, I think, Wei Owens in that fleet. Centurion pushing behind is just, oh my goodness! That all that mech had to do was turn around and say hello there and take him right out of the game. Looks like both 2v1. Testiclops a little, in a tough situation. That right torso ready to just explode at any second. Good armor twisting for Gemmacat. Denies some of the shots on them. Is court out, but not court enough as they are able to finish the fight. What a fight. What a match. That's what I'm talking about.
Body Knocker picking up Wei Owens in the Flea, I think just straight through the back of those PPCs was huge for the momentum of that fight.
Because honestly, it was going back and forth for there a minute. I didn't really know who was going to win that. I felt like Toddlers and Mosh did need to push in to make use of that Annihilator, and they were hesitating, and I think you're right, saying I think they were just trying to achieve small objectives and then just kind of hold on to it, but I think that push made the difference. And just to showcase it, Gemmacat and that Annihilator, 545 damage, 840 damage. My goodness, are we playing quick play right now? That's insane. But 4 LB-10s and 7 small lasers will kind of do it. Moving on to Black Widow Company, though, not to be disappointed. 493 damage coming out of Testiclops, taking very good position spots in order to keep their firepower going. Definitely showcases it right there. Let's move on to the final countdown or match, whichever, right? Wouldn't it be cool to see that crab? It was so cool to see a crab in general. That's a mech I don't get to see often at all.
The King Crab?
Yeah, you really don't see it too often. It kind of suffers from the same thing as the Fafnir, but it's bigger. I
think the King Crab has a bit of not necessarily an undeserved reputation, but I think there's, especially with us lower tier teams, a habit of trying to translate quick play in ways that it doesn't. Because, one of the big problems with the King Crab as a platform is that it's a slow assault mech that brawls. Which means in quick play, you get eaten by a piranha.
Yeah, that's an astute answer. I agree with that. All right. I was going to say, go ahead. Go finish it up.
It's just in comp, like we saw with Mini Celeste leading the push there, you can actually yell at your team, say, wait for me to lead the push, and they'll listen.
Oh, and we definitely saw it. And with 100-ton King Carb and 100-ton Annihilator, that's a lot of tonnage just to have kind of like slowly but surely making its way there. All right, we're going into the final round, final match. Keep the cheering going, everybody, because they're going to need to hear your love, your appreciation as we get this fight going. Woo! All right, so moving on quickly, we have Black Widow Company coming in with the Battlemaster, Fleet 20, Annihilator again of their own, Stalker being their final Stalker, Hunchback 4G Clutch coming back in, and a Black Knight going over their abilities, their loadouts again. We have the Black Knight bringing the Laser Vomit build with the 4 large lasers and 5 medium lasers, with the Stalker coming out with the 60 large laser, Tesla piloting. They did such good work. Annihilator with the 6 UX, hold up. Yeah, 6 UX 2s coming out of it. We have the Hunchback coming in, UX 20. Oh, was it the same build? I thought it was AC2s. My bad, my mistake. Slain coming out, the Battlemaster running the 3 large pulse and 4 medium build, and of course the Fleet 20 being piloted by Wayne Owens running 5 medium lasers.
And it looks like Toddlers and Melchpit, going by Ladies Bulge tonight, is running it back. We've got Mini Celeste back in the King Crab, Perry Crone in the Warhammer 6R, Buddy Knocker for her final Panther for the final match, and the Cicada 3M and Annihilator 1-Axe piloted by Rabbit Go and Gemma Cat, respectively.
Enemy forces have Sigma.
I kind of like seeing this kind of, like, both teams know what works for them. They know what's going to happen. I do think it's kind of interesting seeing what Black Widow's company is going for. They're actually going for a huge, like, notice they purposely put themselves in those spawns over there on the other side just to throw off maybe where their position would be. I love that. I think that's amazing. And as far as we can tell, I don't know if anything's been spotted yet. I don't think so. I think Body Knocker's actually got the first spot being on Way Owens over the Flea over Theta, denying the push for right now. But a lot of this team is actually just holding up. Ooh. No, there is a little... It's okay, the info has been gathered as shots flying out of Black Widow Company, putting some shots onto a little bit of General Sapphire and the Black Knight and the Annihilator. This positioning actually is really tough for them because they have no way to fully engage on him other than that Warhammer. The LBs are coming out, trying to put a little shots in the Annihilator, maybe get a lucky crit somehow, some way through it. But I don't know. This position's going to get a little tough. I think that they're picking it up and they're reading out. The Annihilator from the Gemma does go down to 88%. Not too bad. Nothing opened up yet. But they are repositioning. They're seeming to go for Theta after securing the Sigma. Because the thing is, Black Widow Company definitely had that ready for a brawl push and be able to punish it. But they're way off in the corner. Like, they have some good structure and some things that they could potentially use. But without jump jets, they're not going to be an easy way of getting up there. They have to just slowly but surely move out. Maybe trying to secure Theta from that side. But the rest of this map, Toddlers and Mosh kind of technically has it now.
And so Owen did get chased off. He may try to, dip back and see if he can start playing games with toddlers around Theta. Because what he can do is, if he keeps sort of like forcing them to split their attention, he can create enough space for the rest of Black Widow to push up. But he's got to do it very carefully, or he'll just get Ravigo and Body Knocker chasing him down. And
I was gonna say, I think you're absolutely right. I think Wayons is just playing the smart light mech game right now. Again, it's a small map. They don't necessarily need to worry about trading or trying to get into the fight right off the bat. They can kind of take their time, just slowly moving up, trying to put good hits in positioning. But I gotta say, looking at Toddlers and Mosh Pit, they are willing to receive the push. They still have their brawler mechs just kind of available and ready to go, taking shots what they can with their Panther, actually putting some of the PPC shots. The Cicada trying to get some value off of with that. They're trying to make sure that Theta does not get taped, peeking it, being able to put shots back away Owens, denying that Theta cap. And then the Warhammer is also the other range mech that they're using right now. The Warhammer does, again, its headshot is exposed, but it's still fresh other than that. As Black Widow Company slowly but surely ekes and moves their way up, bringing them more of the range loadout. They kind of need to get into a little bit of the fight, but again, with that Hunchback and that Black Knight being there, they do have a little bit of just casual range. That Cicada, once again, Rabigo wanted to take all the hits for their team, which, you know what, if you're going to be trading a medium mech into Annihilator, I don't see that as being too terrible. Alright, we do have the Warhammer, knowing that their Hunchback buddy is getting hurt, decided to take a little peek, is trying to put some shots into Rhea, or with their Annihilator 6AC2s, putting some work. Now again, we have already seen it that Rhea is not running an XL mech, so they can afford to lose a side torso and still have some firepower. I respect the patience coming out of Gemma Cat and Mini Celeste, trying to hold off, trying to bide their time, waiting for the team to actually force into it, because again, they have the 2-cap lead. Ooh, but notice, Wade Owens actually scouting out the ramp, making sure there's no one hanging around before they take the cap. And they go over it, they get the flip. They successfully have now taken the cap back over. Is there any return fire? Doesn't seem like it. It seems like Body, Rabigo, and their Cicada and Panther are actually just trying to single out, trying to find where they are. Testiclops, very aggressive positioning, is ahead of the entire team because you got to remember, they don't know who's here. I think they did spot the Annihilator. The Panther also spotting it as well. But that Testiclops in their Stalker is in a dangerous position. If they wanted to, they might be able to push into it, but not to be too disappointed. Black Widow Company is positioning Hotshot the Annihilator to actually be in a spot where they do try to make a push against it. There'll at least be some covering fire. So maybe that's even the bait. Maybe Testiclops is actually trying to bait Toddlers and Mosh Pit into a brawl, which we know that they want it, they know they see it, and they smell it, and they would enjoy it. But right now,
I actually think that was big because Way Owens didn't actually flip Theta. He just neutral capped it, and he's just now snuck back to try to get the cap on Theta.
We got a strike going out, some shots going out as well, but not enough to actually put any damage on Way Owens. Way Owens is able to disengage just fine. Looks like most of the Black Widow Company, the lowest person is indeed the Annihilator, but again, nothing has opened up yet. The closest one being the Hunchback, being down to 85%, but nothing's opened up yet. Now, the lowest being Rapigo, down to 70%. Rhea still getting shots on Testiclops. Now, it looks like that there's actually some info gathering. They do take Theta back. Rapigo still getting some spare shots, not opened up anywhere, but still a little damage, worse for wear. Way Owens able to get a, oh, I don't know, maybe they got a little shot on Body Knocker. Little trace fire, let them know. Let them be aware. Mini Celeste trying to make it a little aggressive play, trying to see if they could do a little something, maybe get that clip for their channel, but unfortunately they were not able to get too much value, but maybe that tasty artillery strike as it actually drops down the hotshot to 74% with that. Maybe a little suppressive fire coming in once again from Rhea. Ooh, the shot's still going out. Battlemaster taking shots. Battlemaster not able to trade into anything. It is going to be all up to Hotshot to put these trades out and be effective with it. Down to 4 UAC-2s. So somehow, some UAC-2s did get critted out or destroyed because it's down from 6 to 4.
If they're jammed, it'll show as 4x on the spectator.
Oh, right. Well, then maybe I'm wrong. Well, we're definitely going to be curious. We'll check on that one again just to see if that is a confirm or not.
He is back up to 6.
He is back to 6. All right, so he got his repair kit out, put a little fix on it, got the unjammed, got it loosened out, realized it was just a lot of drinks, a lot of nachos inside of it, and that's why it was jammed. Good job, Hotshot.
Oh, Rabigo and Way Owens here might end up in a little bit of a fight.
Yeah, see a little scrapping. I'm feeling that Way Owens, though, is not really trying. They're just trying to get a little damage for it. Trying to put a little fire, trying to keep the suppression going. But Toddlers and Mosh Pit, similar thing we've seen on their Polar Island matches, is aware of the cap game. They're not afraid to kind of just sit on it and hold on it and just try to save some of their tonnage. We do see a little, like the Black Knight. General Sapphire is probably the most patient one out of this entire group. Is actually not taking any damage. Those 8 medium pulses, too, will be very crucial if it does come into a brawl after all.
In Way Owens' defense, I don't want to peek Rabigo any more than I have to. They're running an Ultra 5 and 3 light PPCs on that Cicada. That is a lot of firepower.
It's a lot of firepower. I kind of love that these teams are still doing a little bit of a range fight, especially with one of the teams not even needing a range fight. They're just kind of sitting with their brawlers. We do see Bakey kind of leading maybe a push, as we see the Annihilator, Hunchback, Battlemaster, all joining in, Testiclops coming in as well. Ooh, putting some shots at Rapigo. I think Way Owens may have called that out. Way Owens actually joining the push, as they're all trying to get some firepower out. Now, do they have the info? Does Toddlers and Mosh Pit know about this? Way Owens actually trying to get in, getting shot by Rhea. Ooh, Way Owens in a nasty spot. If General Sapphire only knew how close this Flea Mech was to her mech, might be able to get a satisfying hit. Body Knocker able to get some good info on the Battlemaster. I do not know if they're aware of how close this push is of the Black Knight, the Annihilator, and Hunchback. But we do see a shift that comes taller than Mosh Pit, so they must have a little bit of an indicator, a little bit of idea. Maybe the absence of mechs. Nice shot from Rapigo, was able to put shots out before disengaging Tyler. Body not work, taking some nasty hits right towards the ready to explode. Cat putting a nice little shot into the other team. Looks like the King Crab is leading the push. Looks like they want the Battlemaster. Way Owens still biding their time on the rear flank, while the Hunchback and the 4G and the Black Knight taking some curiosity shots, trying to put a little damage, trying to be on all sides of Toddlers and Mosh Pit. Toddlers and Mosh Pit, if they're going to win this, they just need to push through something. Black Knight actually getting a little bit engaged, looking at that Battlemaster. But it looks like that instead, we're looking at a bit of a receive push coming in from the Hotshot, Testiclops, and Malaki, ripping apart that Warhammer, finally going down. Mini Celeste taking a lot of firepower. A lot of these assault heavy mechs, even though they just got to the brawl, it's a lot of fire to be focused on. Wade Owens getting the snipe shot, a body knocker, actually XL checking. Wade Owens getting the shot of Mini Celeste. Now that are going down next. All that's left is this Black Knight and the good old Cicada. But this is Little Lord's Career is now, it's a 6v1 situation. General Sapphire taking some back shots. Hopefully the rear armor is good enough. Wade Owens going in for the fight. UAV coming out from General Sapphire. Now leads in the core under pressure, but unfortunately does get taken down. Cap lead is still in there, is in favor of Toddlers Mosh Pit. But again, once you've taken out all the enemy mechs, you're able to go for all the caps to your pleasure. So Black Widow Company should take this round. Wow.
Very, very patient push there from Black Widow.
They let their range do their work. They put a little bit of damage. And nothing to take from Toddlers Mosh, but they definitely did their best with what range mechs they had. Their brawly mechs did take a little more damage maybe they had. General Sapphire being the best one out of all of them. That was actually saving their armor for the very last push. But to be fair, Black Widow Company had like a trifecta going on. They had a little attention up the center, did a little attention way almost off to the left, and they had most of their attention off to the right. So basically at that moment, I called it right in the second, Toddlers Mosh Pit had to make a huge push towards something, otherwise all was going to be lost. And Black Widow Company kind of encircled for him. But honestly, yeah, both teams did an impressive display. What an amazing fight coming out of both these teams, really showing that they earned their division and they earned this fight. And a good, successful back and forth. Love to see it.
So in sports terms, what Wayo and Z was doing there in the fleet, we'd call that setting a pick. And that's where you basically, you use the light mech in this case, but you do a thing to make space for another player on your own team. Admittedly, Pick and MW has a bit of a different context, but a lot of what he was doing, either with how he was playing around the cap at Theta, or when he sort of started poking his nose out on the other side, he was doing those things to force Toddler in the mosh pit to pay attention to him and to build space for his team to safely push over that no man's land up into the Theta ramp.
I 100% agree. I think Wade Owens with the comms that I wish you could sometimes get a glimpse of what their comms was like. I think Wade Owens positioning the entire time, hey, I'm being pushed by the Panther and by the Cicada. Maybe get shots on them. Hey, they're still sitting around this area. Like, Wade Owens probably gave all the intel they possibly need. There was probably good info coming out from Body Knockers or Epico. Like, they were able to react to that fight. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see too much beyond that. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see too much for Toddlers Mosh Pit as far as like who had the highest damage. I did see Testiclops in that Stalker got highest damage, around 600 to 700 damage. I think out of, did you catch who got the most damage out of Toddlers Mosh Pit?
No, I'm back in the lobby.
If I had to put a guess, I would say it was probably Rhea. Rhea was able to get some great shots early game and be able to consistently get shots the rest of the game. It's hard to tell. I mean, Jemica and the LB10s could definitely do the work. I'm going to let the teams know. Thanks for the matches. It was awesome to witness. Can't wait for next week.
They're wondering if we're going to do an interview. I don't think we have
enough time. Because we do have to get ready for our own match versus Bear Brawlers. Poor old Zane. All right, but that's going to be it for everybody. So what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to end the stream, and so that way I can get set up for the next match, which will be QD20 versus Bear Brawlers. If you want to hang around, if you want to watch, we'll still be a 5-minute delay. All I ask is that you just hang around for a little bit, and we'll be right back. So thanks for being y'all. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Later, folks. Zane, let's go! What a match!
Whew, yeah.